On April 7, the European Commission unanimously approved a new package of sanctions against Russia, including a ban on coal imports from the country. According to the New York Times, US, the EU's new sanctions package was expected to be approved on April 6 but was delayed due to disagreements among the member states of the bloc. The decision-making process reflects the challenges of reaching agreement among all 27 member states on the bans, especially when some countries in the bloc depend more on Russian energy than others, it said. With the new sanctions, the EU will gradually reduce its dependence on Russian coal within 4 months, longer than the 3 months originally planned. Before the EU's move, it was suggested that cutting off coal supplies could cause more harm to the bloc than to Russia, because the ban on Russian coal could cause energy prices to skyrocket in Europe, although alternative coal supplies are easier to find than natural gas and oil supplies. Carlos Torres Diaz, senior vice president of consulting firm Rystad, called the sanctions a double-edged sword. According to the EU's Statistics Office, Eurostat, in 2019, 47% of the EU's coal demand came from Russia. This makes Moscow the most important supplier of fuel to the EU. According to Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, coal imports from Russia are worth €4 billion a year. Each member state has different energy needs, and among those most dependent on Russian energy is Germany, the bloc's largest economy. Almost half of all coal Germany imports come from Russia, worth €2.2 billion in 2021, according to German government data. They are largely used to generate electricity and power the German steel industry. Last year, Prime Minister Olaf Scholz's government introduced a plan to phase out coal by the beginning of the next decade. Last month, Deputy Prime Minister and Economy Minister Robert Habeck said Germany would aim to reduce its dependence on Russian coal by the end of this summer. The implementation of the coal embargo shows how well prepared we are, Habeck said. Diplomats in Brussels said Germany and other countries had asked for more time to complete existing orders and cut existing contracts before implementing the ban. Mr. Habeck revealed that German companies have renegotiated contracts with other coal-exporting countries, but shipments already ordered from Russia will not be stopped or turned back. If we force the cargo ships back, we could face a coal shortage, he said. According to the German Coal Importers Association, the United States, Colombia and South Africa could be alternative sources of supply, helping to fill the gap created by the ban. In a phone call on April 6, Chancellor Scholz and Colombian President Iván Duque Marquez discussed energy issues, the German Chancellor's office said. Australia supplied nearly a third of the EU's coal imports in 2019. Coal prices in the Australian market have also skyrocketed, driven by European companies. Poland is the EU country most dependent on coal. While most of the country's coal is mined domestically, about 20% was imported from Russia last year. Last month, Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki proposed legislation banning coal imports from Russia. It would be much more difficult to completely end imports of Russian oil and natural gas. According to Habeck, Germany has reduced its dependence on gas from Russia by 15% in the first 3 months of this year. However, there are also warnings that imposing sanctions on Russian natural gas could lead to significant job losses in the chemical, mining and pharmaceutical sectors. Mr. Habeck presented draft legislation aimed at accelerating Germany's renewable energy expansion, with a focus on wind and solar power. But it will be several years before new ports are built that will allow shipping of liquefied natural gas by ship, providing an alternative to pipeline shipping from Russia. And even if it's favorable, it could be years before the terminals can replace the nearly 22% share of natural gas in the German energy sector.